I am your friend, Dr. Charles Apoki. My spirit has been depressed, particularly after the Supreme Court's judgment on Sunday. The farmer from Adamawa State. And I tried to raise my mind backwards. I found out that some of the major problems we've had in this country have been precipitated by the judiciary. In fact, let us just assume that the judiciary is an arm of the executive, is an extension of the executive, and that we don't have bold judges, magistrates, and justices. Babangida was giving excuses for the annulment of June 12. But we cannot remove the hand of Justice Ikpeme that stopped the announcement of the electoral results. Millions of Nigerians have gone to vote or had gone to vote. A lot of money has been spent. I don't think it is within the purview of the court to stop the announcement of the expression of Nigerians when there is no proof that anything had been done wrong. And then one of the justices that died during COVID came up with another judgment, and finally June 12 was annulled. And from there we went into crisis. And there are several judgments, particularly during the PDP era. The PDP looked as if the courts were their father's sitting room. After committing electoral malpractices, all kinds of rubbish, they would just stand and tell you, go to the court. If you are offended, go to court. It became a slogan. It resembled going to the house of a harlot. You are assured that her door will be open. You are assured that she will sleep with you. In those days, people feared the courts, respected people like Justice Oputa. People like Justice Oputa wrote a judgment. It was poetic, it was philosophical, it was laden with legal reasoning. But today, it has gotten worse. And courts of coordinate jurisdiction give contrary judgments here and there. You can run anywhere and get any judgment. You can get a judgment that Dr. Apoki is a female, that Dr. Apoki is a traditional medical doctor. You can get any judgment in this country the way it goes. And when Buhari invaded the houses of judges and all that, I was initially angry. But apparently, he must have seen the level of decay, even though I believe that he overstepped his boundaries. Excuse me, but the level of corruption, the level of decay, the level of insensitivity, the level of impunity in the judicial system makes me feel that Dele Farotimi is one of the greatest prophets or advocates that Nigeria ever raised. From court cases in several places, you will neglect what has been and create your own precedents that are faulty If people defect, they are supposed to lose their seats. We are not talking about that. The case of Abuja, where if you don't get 25% of the votes, you can't be said to have won the elections, even in the presidency, was twisted somehow. The case of Imo State, where somebody from fourth suddenly became first. If the Nigerian judiciary were to sit in the seat of judgment in heaven, hell will be empty. Write this statement down. If the Nigerian judiciary were to sit in the seat of judgment in heaven, hell will be empty. There will be no rich man in hell. There will be no powerful man in hell. The investigative process from the police cannot be extricated from this decay. Statements are forcibly gotten. People sign documents that they have not read, and all kinds of malpractices go on. People are unjustly locked up for defamation. There's one man called Dele, a blogger. He has been locked up for so long. The policeman who collaborated with whoever locked him up has been proven to be a criminal and dismissed from the police force. That man is still in detention. We now use the courts and the police to intimidate people anyhow we feel. I was listening to Lisa Agbakoba, SAN. I happened to have schooled with him. He was my senior at Government College Ughelli when he came for higher school. I still remember his seat very well in the dining hall. And he was airing the same views I have aired. Somebody was asking him his prediction concerning a certain judgment. He said, the facts are glaring. The legal proceedings and everything are glaring, even though it is sub judice to predict the outcome, but that in the present day disposition, anything can happen. And that at time people are now thinking whether even Supreme Court judgments should be reviewed by another body. You will tell me that I'm not a lawyer. Yes, I agree with you. But you know, the United States judicial system, to a certain degree, have jurors who determine whether somebody is guilty or not guilty, even in murder cases. That means the American judicial system respects the intellect, sense of judgment, sense of the law, and is able to interpret legal presentations by the defense and the prosecuting attorneys to arrive at a decision that can affect somebody's life. And so don't look at us as dummies. Don't look at us as dummies. There are judgments you have passed before, and then judgments that you are passing now. Somebody did not contest senatorial elections. He went to contest presidential elections. He was not there for the senatorial primaries. He lost in the presidential bid. Then you declared him as the candidate for Senate, and we don't know how it happened. He became a senator, and we can see the mess we are in today in the Senate. Is there any hope for this country with all this kind of judicial abracadabra? Some of you who are secessionists will come here and say that Nigeria is a zoo, and that's why they don't believe in one Nigeria. The question is, all these judgments and all those passing these judgments, they are from all parts of the country. They are from all parts of the country. No particular segment of Nigeria is angelic. We need to start afresh to rebuild this country. The case of Rivers State, the mess going on there is as a result of judicial stupidity. The time has come where Nigerians must stand up and demand for the rule of law and the rule of justice in this country. And those of you in the diaspora, don't just sit down there and be complaining. Let your voice be heard. Let your voices be heard. Protest. Now, let me quickly say this. Report some of these judgments to international bodies so that these individuals can be denied visas. If Duterte can be arrested to the ICC for human rights abuses, Supreme Court justices, High Court justices, magistrates, police officers, security agents can also be reported to the International Criminal Court. After all, I saw people from Rwanda who were not presidents tried in the ICC. Let's start making the injustice and the wickedness and the criminality in Nigeria. Let's not confine it in this our dark country. Let's bring it to the light in other parts of the country. Other parts of the world. I remain Dr. Charles Apoki. I'll be in the UK in April. I look forward to meeting you and sharing with you. Send a message to +234 80 21 21 92 62. I will give you the number of, he will give you the number of hosts in the United Kingdom. Our webinar comes up tomorrow, and the one of April is tagged handling provocation in marriage, business, and the workplace. Remember, the number to contact is +234 80 21 21 92 62. God bless you.